Hello everybody, welcome to another Tausken review. Today we'll be taking a look at the new Lithoid species pack for Stellaris. This time around, Paradox has given us rock people with 15 new portraits of rock people and one new robot portrait with a lithoid spin. Some of the new portraits look like kind of a bit of a reskin of existing ones, but overall I think they're pretty great. They're unique, interesting, and they feel like a distinct bunch compared to others. The quality of the art assets is also pretty high. This time around, Paradox has given a little bit more work than they did with the humanoids and plantoid pack. Lithoids come with their own unique traits and mechanics. Lithoids, for example, grow much slower than other pops, but to compensate for that, they have better habitability right off the bat and stronger armor health. As a result, it feels kind of like you're playing a bit of a light version of robots in that you can colonize more planets right away, but there's also some shortfalls to that given that you're much slower to grow. They also get some interesting unique traits. So for example, for 2 trait points, you can get 0.01 of a strategic good for every pop that you have. At first, I thought this was a bit pointless because it just feels like this is such a small number, how am I ever going to use this? But I did find some interesting ways that you can build it up early in the game by just getting it gradually over time, and then you can use it in your first war or two for different edicts, which is kind of fun. But it is a bit short-lived and it doesn't feel like it's massively game-changing like what, for example, the changes that came with Synthetic Dawn. Lithoids also get their own versions of devouring swarms called terravores, which can consume entire planets through a special decision they have. It's an interesting mechanic, but it doesn't seem like it's particularly well thought out or developed. The rewards are not the greatest, giving you a handful of resources and destroying the planet's size and habitability and structure in the process. It's also incredibly tedious, having to micromanage tons of different planets and constantly go back and use this decision to consume the planet. It's a cool idea, I love it, but I feel like it's just not that well implemented into the gameplay. Aside from gameplay, Lithoids also get new cosmetics. There's a new Lithoid city art and the ship art. The ship art is really good though. I love the way it's designed. It feels like Lithoids have this kind of interesting, it's like watching a comet or an asteroid move around the way their ships are. It's basically like a bunch of asteroids just kind of stuck together, and then there's sort of this glowing stuff between them. It's really cool. It's one of the more interesting and better looking ship sets in the game, and I love how creative and unique it is. It's not just another blocky metal ship stuck together. For those who like new advisor voices, you've also got a Lithoid advisor voice, so there's only one. It basically just spouts rock puns and things like that. It's okay. Overall, I think Lithoids is a better species pack than the Plantoid pack, and somewhat better than Humanoids in that it adds new mechanics, but it still feels a bit underdeveloped. I feel like there's just so much more that could have been done here. Maybe it would have been better to do a larger pack, say $10, $12 for the Lithoids, and then add a bunch of new mechanics for them, rather than something that feels so underdeveloped like the terravores are. It's just a bummer because it feels like the consuming world thing could be so much more developed. There could be more mechanics or things to terravores to make them more interesting. You could also add some more traits and things to them to try and add more to do. I feel like the strategic grids one is okay, but it's nothing that's really selling me over to playing a Lithoid over anything else. Overall, though, I think Lithoids is a fun pack. You've got a pretty good amount of art assets from the ships, the stations, and all the new graphics that you get, which are really cool looking, by the way. And I would say they're definitely worth $8. So Lithoids gets a 7 out of 10. It's not perfect, it's not great, it's got a bunch of different flaws, especially in the mechanics and gameplay section, but I feel like it does enough to add something interesting to the game, especially from the art department. So if you're looking for something to just spice up your gameplay a little bit, have some new species options, new traits to play with, and new interesting graphics, then sure, pick up this expansion. But if you're looking for something more substantial, you probably want to wait until it's on sale.